All right, welcome everyone. Today we are going to be talking about Salesforce for nonprofits, specifically our Marketing Cloud offering. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping things. My name is Jessica Hopkins. I will be running today's session. We will also be recording today's session, so you'll definitely get a recording of this so you can go back and watch it, share it, and do whatever you want with it. For any questions that you have, please type those in the Q&A chat box. I do have a colleague of mine on monitoring that, so we'll make sure to answer all of your questions. And again, today's session is being recorded, and you will be able to review at a later date. So let's go ahead and dive in. So first of all, I want to thank you all for taking the time today to join me for this webinar and registering for this session. We're always very excited to share more of our products and our solutions with all of our nonprofit customers. So hopefully today you get a little bit of a value of what our Marketing Cloud solution offers and be able to take that back with you. And one more thing before we start into the topic of today's session, just a reminder that Salesforce is a publicly traded company, so please make any purchasing decisions based on things that are currently available. I don't think we'll be talking about anything that's on the roadmap, but if we do, I'll make sure to call that out. All right, so you'll see two faces as we're talking today, mine as well, Jessica Hopkins. I'm a lead solution engineer here with Salesforce.org, been specializing in our marketing offerings for the past 6 years. And I also have my colleague, Matthew Hannigan, on here. He is going to be monitoring the chat. So if you have any questions, again, remember, put those in that Q&A box and he'll be there to answer any of those questions as we go through. All right, so today's agenda, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the current industry challenges, some things that organizations are seeing as they are trying to manipulate this digital change and making the big jump from all of the snail mail to digital communications and really experiencing the different issues that are coming up from that. Next, we're going to jump into a little bit of a Marketing Cloud product overview, just to give you a little bit of idea of all of the different things that are underneath our Marketing Cloud umbrella. And then we'll dive into a live demonstration to show you all of those different tools in action. So to start off, our nonprofits are struggling to personalize communications. I'm sure we've all been there. We've been getting a lot of snail mail, different types of unpersonalized communications that don't really make you feel connected to the organization. And that's one of the biggest challenges that nonprofits are seeing. In fact, here you can see some nice big numbers. We have 70% of nonprofits do not offer a new email subscriber. And only 42% of their emails to this new subscriber are even personalized. So that's a really huge disconnect when you're trying to get someone to advocate for your organization, to donate to your cause. You want to make sure that they feel like you personally know them, that you understand them, and that you value their relationship. And over here on the right, we have the 59% of respondents said that the communications that they received from nonprofits were not personalized for them. So again, this is just really coming back to really bridging that gap from just kind of pushing our message out there, getting people involved in the organization, to letting the individuals know that they are an individual. We know who they are. We know what parts of our organization they're interested in, and that we're really understanding the relationship that we have. So really, this comes down to creating those connected moments is hard. We have all types of different information. We have it in legacy tools. We have disparate systems. We have many channels. We don't have a lot of resources. We don't have a lot of headcount. And all of these different things really add up and really start to divide this challenge here of really putting our constituents first on a digital platform and making sure that we're connecting them with the things that matter to them from our organization. And this is really where it comes down to. So how do we actually do this? How do we build these trusted relationships with our digital first constituent? Like, how do we actually bridge this gap from our more traditional types of communications to these more digital ones, and really making sure that they know that we know them and we value them? And this is really where all of it comes together. We can start to really grow these relationships by utilizing, you see these 4 orange boxes here, of using a multi-channel strategy. So reaching out to the individual on the channels that they prefer. So maybe they prefer SMS, or maybe they just want to see digital ads, or maybe they're really just enjoying email. So using those different channels that they are valuing can really help drive that relationship. Real-time personalization. So using the data that we know about them and being able to surface that on your website, on the different communications that they're doing, or maybe someone donates and being able to have that real-time instantaneous thank you message going out to them. So really just leveraging all of this data that you've been collecting and putting it to use. Then the other two on the other side, having that earned consent and the trust and deliverability, those are always going to be core of any organization, is making sure that you have earned the consent to have those marketing communications and sending all types of different messages out to the constituent, and making sure that you're not abusing that consent as well, and making sure that all of the communications you're sending are relevant, they're personalized, they're impactful, and they make a difference to your constituents. So all of this starts by building on the moments that matter step by step. So let me go ahead and build this page out a little bit. So we start off with some standalone communications. This is going to be our really reactive and basic type of messaging. So this may be something that a lot of you are currently doing, of just having like a MailChimp or a simple email tool there so that you can just send out communications. We have people, we have information to send, so let's put those together and start communicating. Once we start to develop into our marketing maturity, we start to really use these multi-channel campaigns of combining email with SMS or personal touch or using digital ads, and really starting to that well-groomed marketing automation that you're really starting to look for. And then finally, we start to get to those marketing-based moments. So marketing on the moments that matter. So really finding what motivates an individual. So all of those per person, and really being able to drive home and have that communications set up for them, so that you can make sure that if they're particularly interested in a specific part of your organization and there's a big event happening, trying to drive home of like, we know who you are, we know what you're interested in, and tying those together so that you're having the most personalized, impactful communications is really going to be key here. And so we're going to transition into how we actually do that. How do we get all these marketing strategies into place? And this is where Marketing Cloud comes in. So we have our Marketing Cloud engagement. So this is going to be all of the different components that we're going to talk about today, all combined within the Marketing Cloud product. So this is where we're going to talk about some of those real-time journeys, being able to automate those communications with email and mobile and advertising. And also our platform is embedded with all types of artificial intelligence to help you understand your data better and understand your constituents' behaviors better, so that you can use those moments that matter to really fine tune and hone in on those moments there. So Journey Builder, this is where we're going to spend a good chunk of time today. So this is going to be where we create those behavioral driven journeys or experiences for the constituent, where they are able to kind of tell us how and when they want to communicate with us based on their behaviors. So we can set up those automations to send out emails, but then we can also put checks and balances in on, did they click on the email? Did they make a donation from that email? Or maybe we want to use decision splits and use the data that we already have, of then kind of further segmenting within the journey there, so that we can really fine tune exactly what communications we want to send to individuals based on the way that they are behaving and interacting with our organization. Email and mobile messaging, this is going to be just your bread and butter of communications, of being able to create your emails with a nice drag and drop designer, be able to have some dynamic content in there, really personalize the email. So you're making sure, again, that we're not just sending out a blast email, we're really personalizing, making sure this email is going to resonate with every single person that receives it, and really fostering that relationship with the constituent. Advertising, we'll cover this briefly, but this is really just to have that other leg in this multi-channel communication of really helping you put your message out there. So maybe someone's not responding to your emails or your text messages, so you want to start advertising to them on social media. Or we have the other hand of, maybe we have a really perfect donor. They are constantly engaged with the organization. They are donating monthly. We're fostering them to become large donors, and we really want to find more of that individual. You can use advertising within Marketing Cloud to help you find lookalike audiences, so that you can find more of that type of donor. So it's really going to help you not just get your message out, but also expand and grow your message too. And then finally, we have so much artificial intelligence within the platform now that it's really incredible what you're able to do with it. So there's multiple different types. So we have like send time optimization so that you can use the artificial intelligence to predict the best time to send an email so that it's going to be most impactful per individual. We can understand if someone's being oversaturated or undersaturated. We have some engagement scoring in here to understand what type of subscriber they are. Are they actively engaged with our communications, or are they just a quick browser and simply delete your emails? So all types of different things that you can do to then leverage within your journeys and those experiences to help you make sure you're sending the right communications out at the right time and really engaging with those individuals so that you either for the unsaturated or saturated piece, you're not sending too many communications and risk losing them as not just a subscriber, but a potential donor or volunteer for your organization. All right, so we are going to start our story today with a little bit of a case study. So we're going to meet Rosie. And our story begins with her, and she is a busy program director at STEPS. And if you're not aware, STEPS is our fictitious nonprofit organization, and they offer counseling, education, and safe community for domestic violence victims. So as you can imagine, Rosie has a lot of responsibilities that she wants to make sure her team stays productive. She's also creating communication plans. She's working with event management. She's relying on external reporting to inform her program goals. And she really just wants an efficient way to train her staff so that they can have more experience for constituents and really make sure that they are helping the individuals in need, but also being able to communicate out to supporters to get the funds, to get the volunteers, the donations to help run the organization. So as she's starting to go through these different challenges of a digital transformation here, Rosie has let us know about 5 main key points that are really kind of been the barriers of changing into this new digital world. So one of which is having a limited full-time staff. She doesn't have any headcount. She can't hire anyone else. So they really have to make everything work with the individuals that they have. They would love to have more automated processes because, like we said, she has a very small team. She doesn't have any additional headcount. So making sure that they can automate some processes would really offload a lot of manual work for them so that they are able to reach more people and help their staff stay focused on what they are needing to do, whether that's working on the marketing or directly supporting the clients and the victims that are coming to the organization for help. She also let us know that she has some aggressive fundraising goals, but she doesn't necessarily have any way to determine the success. She doesn't know what emails are impacting that. She's not sure what engagements are driving those donations. So having some insight into that would really be helpful so that they can know what's working and what's not working. She also let us know that they need a way to create strong segments and personalized content at scale, because as you know, working with a lot of different types of people, needing to fine tune those segments, making sure we're working with the correct individuals at the correct time and sending them content that's relevant is going to be key in making sure that they, one, keep those aggressive fundraising goals up, and that they also make sure that they are communicating to those who want to be communicated to. And then finally, I think we can all resonate with this last one here. She mentioned that she has a lot of disparate systems. They have a lot of paper documents, lots of spreadsheets. So their staff really needs to have better visibility into the data that they have so that they can make timely actions and really just understand what information they have so that they can take action on it. So having all of this in one consolidated place is really going to make a difference for Rosie and her team and STEPS as an organization. So we're going to jump on into our Marketing Cloud demonstration here. So just to give you a little bit of an overview, we're going to talk about the different pieces of Marketing Cloud because it really is a very scalable solution. It can be as simple and straightforward as helping you with just your email communications, or you can grow and expand into having something like personalization. So having that real-time web page, the real-time web page interactions and different things like that. You can have all types of different things going on within the solution here. So just to give you a little bit of an overview. So over here on the left, we have our studios. These are going to be the different areas that we create communications that we can then push out to our individuals. So like creating emails, our mobiles. So this actually comprises of 2 pieces. We have Mobile Connect and Mobile Push. Mobile Connect is going to be your typical SMS, so sending out those like thank you texts for donations, different things like that. And mobile push actually connects into a like a mobile application, so like something that you would download from the Apple or Google Play Store, so that you could then have like push notifications, geolocation, lots of really cool things that you can do from that, from having your mobile app connected into Marketing Cloud as well. Mention Marketing Cloud advertising. So again, this is where we can have our social media connected so that we can leverage that as another channel to communicate on, or potentially grow and find more audiences to then bring into the organization. Web Studio is where we can host basically landing pages and forms and really have that ingestion layer so that we can really get some more individuals involved in the organization. You can also use Web Studio's cloud pages for preference. And text on there based on who's viewing that. So lots of really cool things that you are able to do. Analytics Builder is going to be where we have all of those insights powered by intelligence reports so that we can understand how our marketing performance is performing and seeing how our emails are working and all types of different things from there. We have Journey Builder, and this is going to be comprised of two different pieces. We have Automation Studio and Journey Builder. Automation Studio is what I personally believe is a very overlooked piece of Marketing Cloud, because it's not as flashy as what you would expect to see from like the Journey Builder side, which is what everyone sees when they see like screenshots of Journey Builder, Marketing Cloud. This is where we see those experiences where we have the emails and the splits and all types of things like that. But Automation Studio is going to help from an internal perspective on automation. So you can set up linear types of automation here. So simple things of like scouring your database, finding whose birthday is today and sending a happy birthday email. So you can do simple things like that. Maybe you are connecting into other systems and you need to have data imported or exported on a daily basis. This is where you can go to set up those tools so that you can have all of these manual tasks really automated within the system here. Content Builder is where we can host and store all of our content for our emails, different communications, so that you can really have a nice content repository and not have to go through and rebuild everything every single time you're creating. So it's a really great way to have all of that information there. Audience Builder, this is where we really bring in all of our data points, sorry. So whether that's from importing CSV files, you're connecting into other systems, connecting into Salesforce CRM, and having all of that data combined in so that you can have a holistic view of your individuals. And we'll jump into this momentarily so you can get a little bit of view of that. And then finally, Einstein, this is where all of our artificial intelligence lives within Marketing Cloud. So anything that is going to help you with your predictive analytics or predictive intelligence, this is where that will all reside. So first, I'd like to jump into Contact Builder. So this is going to be where all of your data comes to a nice complete view of your individual. So we can imagine here, so we know that Rosie's in here, she's working. She has a donor that she's been working with. We'll call her Rachel. So we can imagine Rachel here in the middle. And all of these spokes are different data points, data sets that we know about Rosie. These are all these different attributes. So we have information coming in from our Salesforce instance. We have information coming in from Blackbot if we had that. We can have chat information, email data, mobile connect data. So wherever that information is residing, you can connect that in so that you get that nice holistic overview of the individual. And what's great about this is, again, all of your data doesn't have to reside in Marketing Cloud or Salesforce. It can reside in other systems, and you can pull that in to give you that holistic view so that you don't have all of these disparate systems with data residing out there that's just not simply helping you with your marketing and communications. Next, I want to talk about Automation Studio. So I briefly mentioned this before, but this is really where you can set up so many types of automations that's just really going to free up a lot of manual tasks. So you can do simple things like just sending an email. So if you wanted to have a linear step 1, 2, 3, You can do things like that. Like we have our happy birthday emails in here. We can do data dumps from our external systems. We can do all types of different things. So we can jump on in just so you can see all of the different activities that we can do. So data extracts, we can filter on our segments, we can refresh groups, that we always have the most up-to-date individuals on a list, and having all of that in here. We can do SQL queries, sending SMS. So all different things that you can do. So again, just really helping you free up some time. So you're not having to do all these manual tasks, and just being able to set this up, and you can do this as a scheduled, you can do it as a file drop or as a trigger, and just really set it and forget it. And then you don't have to come back in here unless you need to make changes. So again, really helping you free up those manual time, that manual time and effort in your marketing strategies. Next, let's go ahead and jump into our emails. So this is where we are going to come to create all types of different messages. We'll actually jump into our donation request email. So all of these emails are mobile responsive by design. They are ready to go. You can do all types of different things within here. So we're going to jump in and edit one of these, just so you can get a little bit of idea of what's happening within the builder here. So over here on the left, these are going to be your drag and drop blocks. So you can easily create beautifully looking emails right on the fly. So we can create buttons, we can add texts, we can add images, HTML blocks. We also have some advanced content. We can do A/B testing directly in the email. You can use dynamic content, which I'll show you momentarily. We can even throw Einstein within the email itself. So we have a fun little fella here called Einstein content. So this would help you determine what's the best content to send out to an individual based on the data that we have on them. So it's similar to dynamic content in the fact that it's dynamically changing what's shown on the email, but it's using artificial intelligence to help determine that. Whereas dynamic content, you would set the rules to be able to determine what images or context is going to show. We also have interactive content down here, so we can put forms and image carousels directly in the email so that we can use these to capture more information. So if we wanted to send out maybe just a little bit more of a progressive profiling type of email and get a little bit more information about our prospective donor, Rachel, and know or to really learn what she's interested in, what parts of the organization is she wanting to volunteer, is she wanting to donate, and just really kind of understanding her relationship with the organization. And all that data will filter right back into Marketing Cloud so that you can use that for your personalizing content in the future or segmentation if you choose. So just to show you a little bit of the dynamic content here, we have a block right here that's going to allow us to show different context based on the data that we have captured. So this is just a general overview email that we are going to send out to our new subscribers, letting them know about the organization, but also letting them know that we need their help to be able to make this organization a reality. So what we can do here is use the data that we've captured, and specifically for this one, we are having, we are using the data that we've collected on if they've donated ever to the organization. So you can see we have lifetime donation amount down here. So if we don't have any data in that block there, or it's 0, we will start to show this block here, letting them know what the organization is and letting them know that we really need your help. Whereas if we know that the individual has donated because we've captured that data, we can then also let them know, hey, you have given us $200 over the last year, and it's been enormously impactful, and we really can't continue to do this without your continued support. So it's a great way to not just personalize the email, but let them know their impact that they're having. So it's a really great way to, again, make sure we're not just sending out blast emails, or personalizing, adding their first name, adding in data that we know about them. So like, for instance, the donation amount, or if we wanted to let them know what year they started supporting the organization, different things like that. As long as you have that data in your Marketing Cloud instance, you can use that for personalization, you can use it for segmentation, and just really fine-tuning the methods of communication that you're sending out to your subscribers. So we'll go ahead and close that out. So as we go through, I did want to also note that this is a drag and drop style of editor, but for any of us out there that really enjoy the coding view, you can certainly do that. I know there are still several designers out there that do like the coding view. So you do have that that capability over here as well. But it is definitely a user-friendly drag and drop style of editor so that you can really quickly create your content from scratch, or if you've used it previously, you can come over to your content tab and drag and drop that over so that you have all of that exactly where you want it. So let's go on into our preview and test. So this is a great way to just kind of view the email and make sure that once we have all of these personalized parts within the email, making sure that they work. So here we can view, we have Rachel Morris, and we can see that her lifetime value amount is 0. So we can see within here, we have her first name in the subject line. We have her first name down here in the context. And we can see that she hasn't donated before. So she's getting information about asking for a first-time donation. Whereas we have Peter Maxwell here, we can see that he has donated $50 in the past. And we can see that directly in the email. So we're making sure that all of our dynamic content, all of our personalization works so that we can go through and make sure everything is functioning before you send out the email. And we can do that here. So we can save and exit if we wanted to use this email in a journey, or we can save and send now. So we'll just go through and send this so that you can see what that looks like. So from here, when you're doing a single send email, you have some options that you can do. So you can do a default commercial. So this is going to be your typical marketing type of communications, but you can within Marketing Cloud also do transactional emails. So this is great for receipts, tax receipts for donations, updating terms of service, different things like that, so that you can make sure that if someone by chance opts out of your marketing communications, they would still receive the most important communications like tax receipts and things like that. So you can choose either of those when you're going through. Next, we can choose our audience. So here we can choose the data extension, which is basically just a list. Which is what we'll do for today. And we'll have to find that one in there. But there's a couple of other options as well when you are creating a single send. You can also use Salesforce. So I'm sure many of you have created Salesforce reports in the past. So if you've created one that has an email address attached to the individual, you can use those reports that you've created. So it's really going to help if you have two teams working in each system, that you only have to create one report and be able to send through that. You can also use Salesforce campaigns. So if you're working on like an end of year donor drive and you have a campaign within Salesforce and you have a bunch of individuals in there, you can use that campaign as a targeted list or as a suppression list too. So it's really great that you're able to do a variety of different options there. And there's our data extension that we're going to pull over. So this is going to be our specified group of individuals that we're going to send. Here we can configure the delivery. So if we wanted to send this immediately, schedule it to go out at a specific time, or if you needed to do any type of send throttling, you can set that up within here as well. Then you get one final chance to review your email, make sure that everything is correct. You know what audience you're sending to. You can see how many people are on that list, be able to review the email one last time, and then we're able to say, yes, this information is correct, and we can go ahead and send that email. So it'll work on the back end. We'll be able to go back and look at the email reports and statistics to see how that email is performed on the opens and clicks, be able to see all those types of data packs directly from the email itself. But while we are waiting for that, we're going to jump on over into Journey Builder. So this is always a very exciting piece of Marketing Cloud because we're really pulling all of our communications in. So previously we're working on single send emails, single send text messages, but this is where we really get to create and craft those experiences for the individual so that they are going to work with our organization. So we're going to start with just a single step. So again, you can do single send journeys and transactional send journeys within here, but we'll do multi-step just for demo purposes. So over here on the left, we'll talk about the different activities and things that we have over here, just so you get a little bit of understanding of how all of this really comes to play. So our green icons here, those are going to be our entry sources. So this is how someone actually gets into this journey. Like, how do we have that determining point of this person needs to be injected into this journey because we want them to receive these communications. So this could be a variety of things of just simply being on a data extension is like what we'll do for today. But It could be maybe they are in a Salesforce campaign and we want to have that information automatically sent out. Or we're using another data point within Salesforce that anyone who has specified that they are a volunteer, but they haven't donated, and we want to have that cultivation here to try to get these volunteers to become recurring donors. You could do different things like that as well. Or maybe someone fills out a form on a cloud page, or you have a specific event or API event. You can do a variety of different options here to have that entry source so that you can get the exact individuals you want into this journey. Next are tealish icons. These are going to be the different activities, so the different types of communications we can send out. So we have our standard email so that we can go ahead and send that email out. It could be the exact email that we just made. So if we wanted to do this as a new subscriber journey, we could set that up there. We have in-app messages. So this would be for the mobile push connection here. So if we wanted to have our mobile app integrated into a journey, we could certainly do that. We can do SMS. So if we wanted to pull in another SMS, and maybe we also wanted to have any type of integration with WhatsApp, you can use that for a communication point too. Or maybe we'll do the ad audience. So we've talked about all three of those today. So we have our emails, we have SMS, and we have advertising audiences in here so that we can have all of these different channels to really make sure our message is getting out to our subscribers. Our orange icons here, these are going to be our flow controls. So this is going to help us create these journeys and really have those branching logics within here so that we can determine based on behaviors or the data that we can have different communication paths for those individuals. So a really common one, so having an email, we want to then have an engagement split. So we want to then see if someone opened this email, we want to communicate with those individuals differently versus those who didn't. Or if it's a click on a specific link, whatever that engagement is that you determine when you're setting this up, you can then have that branching logic so that we can then start to communicate differently with those who did open or click versus those who didn't. Earlier, I mentioned using decision splits. So this is going to be a point where you can start branching logic based off of the data that you've captured. So for instance, in our dynamic content for the email, we were using their lifetime donor value. So if they are a donor or not a donor, we could use that logic within here as well to really create these different paths. And you can have a couple different variations in here. So if we wanted to have 3 decision splits, we could use the different data points and be able to really fine tune exactly how we want to create those strategies there. One that I always like to talk about is Path Optimizer. So we'll just drag that one in here so you can see what that looks like. So this is going to be A/B testing directly in your journey right here. So this way, if you're not really sure which message you want to send out, you can choose 2 different ones. And as this Path Optimizer goes through, your subscribers will flow through, and whichever path gets the most engagement or has the highest turnout, that will be the path moving forward. So it's a really great way to do some testing directly in the journey. So if you're not sure which one you want to send out, this will help you determine what's the best path forward. And then, of course, all the blue icons here, those are our Einstein icons. So we have send time optimization, so we can pull that in right up here. So this will help us, again, determine the best time to send an email to an individual based on their past behaviors and engagement with our communication. So this is a really great way to make sure that you don't send your entire database an email at 7 a.m. if you have individuals that are not early risers. So it's a really great way to make sure if we have some early risers at 7 a.m. or we have individuals who are lunchtime warriors that want to really start to dig into their around 1 or 2 p.m., you can use send time optimization and it'll automatically send those emails out based on those parameters and that data that it's been collecting in the background. Then, of course, we have frequency split and scoring splits. So these will use, again, the data that we've been collecting and behaviors from our individuals to help determine if they are oversaturated, undersaturated, or doing a scoring split of different types of communications that they have or different types of engagement scoring that they have. So it's a really great way to use the data and use artificial intelligence to help you determine different communication paths and styles for individuals that have different behaviors and engagements with your organization. And then, of course, we wouldn't be Salesforce if we didn't talk about the integration that we have back with the CRM. So we can certainly write back into the CRM by using the account object. We can use tasks, so we can create tasks on the CRM side. So if we had somebody that went all the way through and we wanted to follow up with them and have someone from the CRM side follow up personally, We could create tasks within here. We can also update objects as well. So if we were using the donor experience here and we wanted to end up having someone convert to being a donor from not being a donor, we could then go in and update any fields that we wanted to within the CRM. So just a really great way to, again, connect these sources so that we have the consistent data and that holistic view of everything within the system here. All right, so once we get all of these set up, we can then start to analyze how our marketing is performing. So this is where our intelligence reports come into play. So these are out of the box dashboards that will allow you to see that performance on email overview of your overall engagements that you're sending out. You can experience these from your journeys, be able to dive in and really understand how the different data and different communications are sending out. So just to give you a little bit of overview of our email overview, we can see our sends, how many emails we've sent out. We can see the frequency that we've sent these out as well. We can see the overall engagement, and I apologize, this is not real engagement, so we don't have a lot of people opening and interacting with our communications here, but we can see that we have gone up in the last 30 days. So that's great information. So we know that we're doing something right within here. As we scroll down, we can view our email performance. So we have a nice conversion funnel, so we can see where all of these land between sends and unique clicks, and even seeing those engagement distributions over time as well. Then one of the more important ones as well is having that journey performance by email. So as you know, we have these journeys. We can have multiple emails in there, but how do we know which ones are working best versus those that aren't? So this is where we can come in and see those individual journeys, be able to see what emails in the the top journeys and the bottom journeys, so that we can go in and start to analyze those a little bit more. So this is just an overview. You can go really deep within the email engagement. We can see all of those factors, be able to have engagement timelines, be able to see by domains and audiences. So if you're sending out to different lists, see which ones are most engaged. You can even see from the day of the week. So this is where Einstein even comes in to help you. So maybe you weren't realizing that Tuesdays were the most, we have Mondays. Mondays were the most popular days to engage with email. I would not have guessed that. So this would give you some insight into there as to what the days, the number of unique opens by day of the week. Same with audience types. So you can see the different lists we're sending to. We can see their opens, their click-through rates, different things like that as well, just to really give you some ideas. And you can come in here and let's say if we didn't want to see open rate, we wanted to see unique opens and unique unsubscribes, and we can toggle off everything else. And the data will automatically update so that you can see the information that's most relevant and pertinent to you. And then one more that I will show is our journey performance by email. So this is really going to help you understand, again, the emails that are within the journey. We can go all the way down to very specific ones. So if you're an organization that's utilizing business units, if you wanted to go to a specific business unit, if you wanted to go to a specific journey activity, a specific version of that journey. So if you've had different iterations of it, you can go in and really review. So you have all of this analytic power at your fingertips to help you understand the performance of your marketing initiatives, to make sure that you are having the most impact and having all of your communications go out. So from there, we're going to recap what we've gone through. So if you remember Rosie's issues, she had a lot of siloed data, lots of manual processes. Their emails weren't very personalized. They had no insight into how that was performing. And by using Marketing Cloud, she's really been able to expand into this digital transformation. So you can see here, these screens should look pretty familiar. She was able to aggregate all of her siloed data. She was able to unify, and she's able to provide more access to useful information. So no more information residing in siloed data sources. She's brought it all together so that she can have that cohesive view of her potential donors like Rachel. She's been able to simplify those processes. She mentioned earlier, she doesn't have a lot of headcount, or she doesn't have a lot of manpower, and she doesn't have any headcount. So being able to simplify those processes so that they can focus on what matters has really helped her to be able to have those data dumps directly into Marketing Cloud so that she's able to free up some of those manual efforts. They've been able to personalize their communications so she can create those finely tuned segments, making sure that she's targeting audiences with the correct data points. So making sure that she's reaching her donors versus non-donors and being able to personalize those emails and communications at scale to make sure they're receiving the right message is always going to be impactful. She's been able to increase that engagement as well because she's having the right communications. She can target those to the right individuals at exactly the right time, making sure that their behaviors and engagements are resonating with the communications that she's sending out so that she can foster that relationship with those individuals. And then finally, being able to optimize that performance. So she had no insight into how any of their marketing initiatives were relating back to their fundraising goals. And now she has that. She has all of these dashboards here that are marketer friendly, that have data and reporting tools directly embedded in them so that she can use that to her advantage to make sure that all of her marketing communications are exactly where they need to be, or if they're not, be able to make those improvements as she goes. So that is all for today's demonstration. I want to thank you again for attending and spending the last 40 minutes or so with me talking about Marketing Cloud for nonprofits. Again, the session has been recorded and we'll make sure to have this out to you all soon. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.